In this episode of Bite Size, I'm going to be exploring why we use the three-finger salute. In the latter part of 1980, IBM began working on a project known as Acorn. Project Acorn would be IBM's new attempt to create a personal computer. A desktop PC that was anticipated to sell a modest 241,000 units over its first 5 years. Of the 12 engineers chosen to complete this project was David Bradley. David had worked for IBM as a programmer since 1975, and in 1978 had worked on the System 23 Data Master computer that would launch in July 1981, but would ultimately disappear into obscurity against the Acorn project. Unlike the Data Master, Acorn needed to be completed within a year to compete with rivals from Apple and Radio Shack, to name a few. Of course, development of a new machine meant many bugs, and therefore many system reboots. With limited time available, performing a cold boot for every glitch was consuming more time than they'd like, with the machine running through the post, memory and startup tests on each occurrence. To solve this infuriating problem, one of the tasks on David's checklist was to create a quicker solution, a shortcut which didn't involve the PC restarting from a powerless state and therefore bypassing post. This shortcut would come in the form of a key combination. Given the IBM PC keyboard is wired to IRQ1 within the PC's architecture, this made perfect sense. When a signal is received through this hardware interrupt, it becomes the CPU's highest priority, and therefore any reset request should be issued straight away. Scanning the keyboard, David chose a combination of keys that were unlikely to accidentally be pressed simultaneously, given that no one wants to reset their computer accidentally. After first considering CTRL-ALT-Escape, but realising it was too easy to mash the left side of the keyboard and activate it, he reasoned it would need to require two hands to execute and involve keys which could be pressed at the same time without sending characters to the computer. For this he chose CTRL-ALT-DELETE. It reportedly took David 10 minutes to implement this routine before moving on to his next task, and that was that. Its original intention was purely to assist the team in their development, and never envisaged as an end-user feature. However, it remained, coded into the IBM BIOS, ready to be executed when required. Project Acorn would then be released to huge success as the IBM 5150, leaving the keyboard command enshrined in circuitry. For IBM PC compatible users throughout the 80s and early 90s, this was a useful and much used feature among those in the know, although it wasn't hugely documented until the arrival of Windows 3. As an MS-DOS user, this combination also seemed to fit well among other commands built into software, such as Control and Break and Control and C, that could intervene the execution of programs under Microsoft DOS, the latter having descended from the TOPS 10 operating system by Digital Equipment Corporation. For any x86 computer running in real mode, which even computers today start up in, CTRL-ALT-DELETE is a direct path to the BIOS which instigates the reset command. It's why when you boot even a modern computer, it will still cause a reboot until the operating system takes over and activates protected mode. When Intel's 8286 processor was released in 1982, it allowed a new mode of operation known as protected mode. This was improved upon for the 386 processor in 1985, and when Windows 3 was released on May 22, 1990, it made use of this new protected environment to provide virtual memory, paging and safe multitasking. This mode could also circumvent the BIOS, and so with this in mind, Microsoft repurposed the CTRL-ALT-DELETE key combination to instigate a blue screen that could kill a problematic application without having to perform a complete reboot. However, if this proved unsatisfactory, the user could press those same keys again to initiate a BIOS interrupt call and reboot as if they were still in DOS. Windows 95 took this a step further by halting the entire system and displaying the Task Manager, which could be used to terminate whichever application you desired. System errors would also trigger the blue screen of death and allow you to reset using the same key combination. Since then, the key combination has been used in pretty much the same way. whilst also allowing us to log on to our operating system in the first place. When Windows NT appeared in 1993, designed for server and serious business use, it required a secure attention key, so users knew that they weren't entering their password into a spoof program. Pressing CTRL-ALT-DELETE was a call directly to the operating system, so if a program was pretending to be the NT logon screen, pressing this would bring up NT's equivalent to the task manager and you'd know it was a fake. However, a true NT logon screen will simply allow you to enter your password and you know you're safe. And so, like that, CTRL-ALT-DELETE had found its further purpose in life, not only allowing us to reboot, but to log in to our new operating systems in the first place. In 2013, Bill Gates, having really pushed what would become known as the three-finger salute to the famous combination it is.
But you know, I have to share the credit. I may have invented it, but I think Bill made it famous. When you used it for NT logon. That's what I meant.
Seemed to complain that he tried to get IBM to add a dedicated SAK key before NT came out. However, given most PCs weren't even made by IBM at this point, it seems a little bit odd. Especially given that it's Microsoft who really had the power to get keys added to a keyboard if they liked, with Windows 95 keys appearing from the mid-90s onwards. Again, more recently he mentioned he'd have made the combination a single button from the outset, but then we're just back to the same issues Bradley had with accidental restarts, so that doesn't make much sense either. In any case, CTRL-ALT-DELETE is thanks to the IBM engineer David Bradley, who followed a jam-packed career at IBM before retiring in 2004. So whether you like the three-finger salute or not, that's what we've got. I personally wouldn't change it for the world.